Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so happy to be back. It feels so great to be back. It's been a while. My name is Melanie Mack, and I am the host of Conversations. And can you believe that we are in the fourth quarter of the year? Where has 2018 gone? I can't believe it. I have a son graduating from college this year. I have a son graduating from high school and a sophomore. I mean, time is just, it's truly, truly flying. But I'm so happy. I'm so thankful and grateful to be back and to be here, to be in great health and have family, friends, and a wonderful support group here with Power of Voices. Shout out to Josefa for this opportunity. And, I've been gone for a year with just the vicissitudes of life. I will just say that things have been great. But, we all go through some ups and downs and, have lost some loved ones. And that's always a struggle to deal with. And at the same time, there have been some incredible highs for 2018. So Conversations, what is Conversations? So Conversations is simply my time to sit with different entrepreneurs that share their stories about how they created their business, what was the impetus that led to being an owner, an employer. It's also an opportunity for these entrepreneurs to share their struggles, where they were challenged at times, when they thought that they would just throw in the towel and give up, and how they survive those challenges and some of the tools that they use, and just things that they can share with all of us that inspire us to, despite challenges, despite things working, or when they feel as though they're working against you, to continue to press on, have that intestinal fortitude to move forward. Last year, I was so fortunate to have the opportunity to speak with so many dynamic women. I had Tina Aldaz and her business partner and best friend, Margie Flores, the founders of Savvy Travelers. And women, if you've ever had, when you wear high heels and you have that soft padding for the ball of your feet, Tina created that. And she came in and shared her story. You can look it up on YouTube or the Power of Voices page if you'd like to see that interview with Tina and Margie. It was absolutely incredible. Just two amazing women. Also, Desiree Dubois, who came in and is on to this new venture with Homework, HOMWORK. If you haven't heard of Homework, I encourage you to check it out. She has created this thing that it's a business that I believe is brilliant for women who travel. And it's basically Airbnb turned on its head, and it's for empty nesters and executive women who travel but don't necessarily want to stay in a hotel and want to be in an environment where the people have been vetted and it's very communal, and these are luxury homes, and it's just outstanding. I think that they've now opened up a space in Cuba. I think they have a location in Vegas, and she's just doing extraordinary things. I'm so incredibly proud of her and just happy to call her a friend. All of these women actually have become friends. Barbara Bickham, love her. She is a CTO, and I hope that I'm saying that correctly. Barbara, don't kill me. But she is in the tech industry and just one extraordinary woman, and working in a field that is dominated by men. And when I tell you this woman holds her own, Barbara is no joke. She's educated me on, Bitcoin and Litecoin and, just cryptocurrency in general, and how people have been able to fundraise with it, which is pretty dynamic. And again, her story, her interview, you can find it on Power of Voices. Let's see, who else? Eleanor Beasley. You know how much I love you. Eleanor Beasley was in, and she is just a finance guru and is always open about sharing her story and her journey as an executive. And she is still doing incredible things when she doesn't have to. But still, these women they're so driven, and it always inspires me. I had the young women from Tickleberry Place and twin sisters, I think both engineers. I hope that I'm not getting it wrong, but again, they were such a joy to spend time with in the studio. And Cindy Fernandez Nixon. Now, this woman came to one of my brunches that I host for executive, professional, entrepreneurial women. And she was just such a delight to meet. And I interviewed her about this time last year. And she has gone on, she's a retired engineer and has gone on to create her own radio show. And it was so wonderful to me when she reached out to me and said that she would like me to be her first guest. And her show is called Not Until I Had, I think it's called Not Until I Had My Coffee. Cindy, forgive me if I'm screwing up the name. I hope that I'm not, but check her out on IG. Check out her show. She's on Tuesdays, and she is, again, wonderful. She's an engineer, incredibly smart woman, and moved here to Los Angeles to pursue some of her dreams, and she is making them happen. I also want to give a shout out to Alicia White Madison. Alicia White Madison is the CEO and founder of the Bella Network. And if you don't know the Bella Network, check it out. They are hosting their second annual, I believe, the second annual Women's Leadership Conference. It's November 2nd through November 4th. So I would go onto their website, Google the Bella Network, and you can find the information. But I know that conference is coming up, and let it be a complete blessing to you, and get some of that good knowledge deposited into you from other female executives and entrepreneurs that are really changing the trajectory of not only their lives, but those that are coming up behind them. You know who I want to get on the show? Mahisha Dillinger. Have any of you seen her show, Mind Your Business, on the OWN network? I think they are off season now. I'm not sure, but I had never heard of this woman, and the show is really wonderful because she not only speaks to, but she assists entrepreneurs in scaling their business or finding the resources that they need in order to grow and to be sustainable. And if you haven't seen the show, I encourage you to check it out. But I have to get Mahisha on the show. I just love what she's about. Now I got to talk about my girl, Kiko. Kiko Davis. I don't know if you're watching, and I know it's late where you are, but this woman, she and I, we just go way back. A dear, dear friend of mine. And I'm so proud to announce that she has been selected as one of Ebony's Power 100. And Kiko, I can't wait until you come to LA to see you and just hug on you. And I'm just so proud of you. But Kiko Davis, for those of you that don't know, she is the only African-American woman that owns what? A boutique? No. Hair salon? No. A storefront? No. She owns a bank. Let me be clear. She owns a bank, the only African-American woman. that owns a bank. So if you don't know her, check her out. She is just a good person inside and out. She's a beauty through and through, and I love her to death. Want to say that this show tonight is brought to you by Dare to Be Noticed Beauty Salon located in Inglewood, California. Thank you, Dare to Be Noticed, for your support. Also want to mention BCIF, the Black Cooperative Investment Fund. Thank you for your support. If you are looking for a microloan and you are an entrepreneur, visit their website at www.bcifund.org, www.bcifund.org. So, it's Halloween, everyone. I'm not a big Halloween person, but it's Halloween. As you can see, if you're watching, I am not in any way dressed for Halloween, although my hair, brother, can we get this together? Can we do something here? Because I'm looking like Simba. But yeah, Halloween is here, and it's so cute seeing the kids dressed up. I remember moments with my children, with them wanting to, go out and shop and get the costumes. And then as they became teenagers, putting together their own spin on just the craziest things. I think my youngest son dressed up as DJ Khaled one year, and it was one of the funniest things I've seen. And, DJ Khaled is, he's so full of positivity. And he's always he heralds his wife and his son. And so my son embodied all of that. He had he had a fake baby, and it was funny and cute at the same time. His teachers got a big kick out of it. Let's see. BCIF, I want to go back to that. BCIF is a non-bank controlled community fund. It's a pooled fund based on the spirit of cooperative economics. And why is that important? It's important for entrepreneurs to support other entrepreneurs, and particularly African American entrepreneurs. It's ownership. I can't stress enough how important ownership is. And I guess because I grew up with a dad who had his steady 9 to 5, which was wonderful. I mean, my dad was one of those people who never missed a day of work, aside from having to bury his mom and his youngest brother and sister all within the same year. My dad never took time off. My mom, on the other hand, was an entrepreneur, and it created an incredible balance in our household. And my mom has just never answered to anyone. And, she just has this kind of chutzpah about herself. And Mom, if you're listening, it's time for you to retire. I shouldn't say that. You know what? I shouldn't say that it's time for my mom to retire. But she so loves what she does, and she was able to pass that legacy on to our family, and in particular, my brother, who has an incredible gift for hair. And please don't judge him by my hair at the moment. I did this myself, and it was a struggle. The struggle is real. But it's so wonderful to be able to pass on legacy. If any of you have ever heard me speak, that I always say that you cannot pass on a job. And I love the work that I do. I love businesses that I've created. And but again, you cannot build legacy, and you cannot pass on. You just cannot pass on a job. You can pass on great work ethic, sometimes drive and passion. I do think that you can do those things, and you can inspire your children to be great within themselves, whatever their greatness is and how they define it for themselves. But it's important to have something that you own, have something that you control. And, I think some people have the idea that if you work for yourself, that you're taking an easier road. Let me tell you, if you work for yourself and you are an entrepreneur, and all entrepreneurs know this without question, it is hard work. It's not simply following a blueprint for something. It's day in and day out working to build something that you have imagined, or something that has been passed on to you. And again, my brother has really been fortunate in that he's such a wonderful artist. I can't even call him a hairstylist, because it's so much more than that. He really has a gift for, I can't look at someone's head. I don't know about you, but I cannot look at someone's head and think about what should adorn them, or how their hair should be cut, or what color would look good on them, the shape of their face. My mind doesn't work like that. But I'm so glad that my brother's around, and I'm saying this again, brother, when you have time, could you make some time for your sister so that I can get in and get my hair done? I know you're big time, but I would love to get an appointment. I'm just saying. Speaking of beauty, I met with the incomparable Kim Etheridge, who is the co-founder of Mix Chicks. How many of you know about Mix Chicks, the brand? So Mix Chicks, they've been around since, I want to say 1993, when they launched. Kim, I hope that I'm getting that right, but I believe it's 1993. And what a brand that they've created. They have all sorts of hair care products for curly hair, for women that wear their hair natural, as you can see, naturally. And they also have a makeup line that they have, been able to scale. So they're doing incredible things, and I'm incredibly proud of Kim and Wendy for all of the work that they're doing and the way they give back to the community. It's really wonderful to see, and talk about people that are self-made and that have really put the work in, and that continue to build others up around them. Those two ladies are, they embody that. They are the epitome of that, of working hard and giving back. So BCIF recently hosted a salon. So there's a salon series that the Black Cooperative Investment Fund hosts. And we kicked off the year with, who did we kick? We kicked off the year with Nina Shah. So if you do not know who Nina Shah is, wow, you should. Nina Shah is an attorney and an entertainment attorney, represents A-list talent. She also makes time and room, which I don't know how she does it, how she has the time, I have no idea. But she also makes the time for burgeoning talent. And she was just on fire, and she spoke. Alicia White Madison hosted Nina and BCIF in her home, she and her husband Michael, and it was truly wonderful just to hear the stories of how she built her name, how she built a brand. And honestly, she didn't set out to do that. And just as a young attorney, she said that she was kind of making the rules as she went along, and because she didn't know what the rules were. And some of those things I would say many of those things, and just the way she thinks creatively and analytically, she has changed so many lives just with her expertise and knowledge of the law. She shared a story about Ava DuVernay and Ava DuVernay, who is doing amazing things with the shows that she's producing and all of the things that she's creating. And she shared that, I don't know, years ago, there was a project because Ava DuVernay was working, or she was a publicist, and she created a short film called I Will Follow that starred Sally Richardson. And Omari Hardwick was actually in it as well. But a beautiful, beautiful short film that honored her aunt. And Nina shared that Ava came to her asking about whether or not she should make an investment in herself, or should she put those monies that she had saved into the purchase of her first home. And Nina said something that really resonated with me. She said, and I think it resonated with many people that were in the room, but she said she advised her to believe in yourself, to have the confidence in yourself and your ability to raise that money again. If you have saved enough money and you want to make a film, she said, make that film. Make the film, because if you have the confidence in yourself, you can do that again. It's not a lose. It's not a lose if you don't take traditional advice and put the money down on a house. And excuse me, she shared that Ava said to her that Nina was the only person in her life that told her to make that decision. Everyone thought it was a crazy decision to put all of your life savings, basically the money that you've saved up, to purchase a house and take a risk on yourself and make a project that you love. And I don't need to tell you how that story ends, because you can look at the body of work from the incredible Ava DuVernay. I mean, it was clearly sage advice. And look at all of the gifts that we have from her, the beautiful imagery, the storytelling that Ava provides, from Selma to, there's so many different shows that that I watch that she's a part of. 13, if you haven't seen that on Netflix, you need to watch it. An incredible documentary that she spent time on. And, these are things that we can be proud of, that have been deposited into the popular lexicon, and that's helping to change and shape the narrative of how we are seen. I don't know what's going on with my voice tonight. I'm this raspy thing going on, but she has really helped to change that narrative. And, I think back to what Nina shared. She took a risk and made an investment in herself. And I always encourage individuals when I coach them, and just in speaking, if I'm on panel, that the best investment you can make is always in you, Inc. Make an investment in yourself. You can never go wrong there. It's something that no one can ever take from you. You can never be threatened to have the rug pulled from under you. So it's always good to have, you need to have different, multiple revenue streams for yourself. Just my 2 cents. Probably worth a little more than 2 cents though. But so the person that followed Nina Shaw for the Salon series was another incredible woman, Miss Jackie Pittman. And Jackie Pittman is a casting director. She's an executive producer. She is making all sorts of projects where we are employed not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera. And she talked about being offered a position early on in her career, but being offered an assistant position. And she told the executive to take that money and hire an assistant, not her, but hire an assistant and to simply teach her what this executive knew. Teach me the business. And she did that. And how many of us can say that we would step into something where we are not paid just to learn, just to get that knowledge? Knowledge is so important. I mean, once she had those seeds of knowledge that were planted and deposited in her, she built a business, and she has people employed, and she pays them first. She made a comment saying, I make sure that my staff, my team, that they eat first. And it's so important that if you are an employer or if you are the boss and you have staff, that you take care of your staff, take care of people that support you and that lift you, that are there to back you. It's important that they too are, that you look out for them. You never know when tables may turn and you may need something from them. And that's not the only reason you should do it. It's just the right thing to do. I want to talk about the lovely and talented Diane Valentine. So Diane Valentine is a lifestyle expert. She's a love expert. She is luxury. If I think of one word to describe Diane, I think of luxury. She is always styled from head to toe. I mean, head to toe, literally. And just a beautiful woman, beautiful spirit, incredibly brilliant, and had a show. I don't know if any of you had an opportunity to check it out. I hope that you did. It was on over the summer, I want to say. Maybe not. But it was on not long ago on the Bravo network, and it's called To Rome for Love. I'm sure you can find it on demand. And she's on the Steve Harvey show as the resident love expert. And this is a woman that, I mean, she works so incredibly hard, smart, and she talks about manifesting things. And she will tell you herself that she started calling herself a TV host before that was a true manifestation of what she was doing. She was doing all sorts of high-end events. And I mean, if you haven't seen a Diane Valentine event, you don't know what you're missing. Look her up, Google her, look at some of the things that she has imagined. It is just, it's so beyond me. It's really, truly, just stunningly beautiful things that I've seen. And so she has this show and is doing incredibly well. And I always tell her that I'm rooting for her as I root for all of us. And it's such a wonderful thing to have her moderate the BCIF salons. She brings so much energy and life, and she brings her own wisdom to the table as well. So it makes for a lively conversation. And we always have incredible guests in the audience, and that are very engaged, that have great questions, and you can tell that they're paying attention. So again, just to get back to the importance of ownership, I encourage you to, if you don't have a business, and not everyone is meant to be a business owner, but if you would like to have a business, start. If there's something that people are constantly saying, oh, you're so good at this. This comes so easily to you. This is something that you should be doing and you're not. Sit back and take a hard look at that and really examine what your gifts are. And sometimes we're gifted in certain areas. For example, I can write the heck out of a grant proposal. Do I love doing that? Absolutely not. I do not like writing grant proposals. But if I have to do it, I will. But just because I am good at that doesn't necessarily mean that I am passionate, or that that's something that I should be doing. But I am really great at connecting and fundraising and bringing in dollars for nonprofits and for different organizations. And I am with an organization that I absolutely love. I'm having the best time, and it's so much fun just bringing awareness to causes, introducing people to others that can help and build and grow and expand the bandwidth of a vision. And so that's the kind of work that I enjoy doing, and that I am, I'll just say I'm pretty good at it. I think I mentioned, but I'm going to repeat it. If you have not had an opportunity to check out the Bella Network, please Google the Bella Network. Look for the Bella Network Women's Leadership Conference. It is November 2nd through November 4th, and I hope that you will sign up. There are some really wonderful speakers that are lined up. You can see the people that have already been confirmed for the conference, and I would encourage you to make some time in your schedule if you can, and attend. So, on to, this is, I have to say, one, I'm having fun, but it's so odd not having a guest in studio with me. But tonight was tonight was the relaunch of my show, and I wanted to make sure that I was here, guest in studio or not. So that's why you're hearing so much from me and not me in conversation with someone, which will be next week. You can stay tuned for that. But I will share that I celebrated a birthday, and I celebrated my birthday with my husband, and it was so wonderful. It was the nicest surprise, and we were able to see, he surprised me with Tamia. You guys know Tamia, R&B singer? Oh my gosh. She brought the house down. It was a 90-minute performance. And that's the first time I've ever seen her live. And she has this new album, Passion Like Fire. And it's so nice to see when your husband is actually paying attention, right? So he knew that I had been listening to that. I have it in my playlist on iTunes, and I've just been running the sprockets off of certain songs that I like. One of them is Leave It Smokin'. And when she began to sing Leave It Smokin', I nearly died. I nearly died because she sounds just like the album. You know, there are only a few people where you go and you see them in concert and it's just like the album, right? It's pure sound. So incredible. Her voice is just amazing. And so we were able to see her and enjoyed that. I will say there was another concert, Stevie Wonder. If you've never seen Stevie in concert, we went to the celebration of it was the 40th anniversary of Songs in the Key of Life, which anyone that knows me knows that is my absolute favorite album. And we went to see him in concert, and I think it was at, I don't know, it was here in Los Angeles. But went to see him in concert, and when I tell you, people were on their feet almost the entire show, singing every single lyric to every single song. Probably hands down, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Hey, All That and More Boutique. I need to get in and see you. Because I see you in passing, and I know that you do extraordinary things, and I need to know you for sure. I hope that you're still on. definitely want to connect with you. And I wish that I could read some of the other names that are up there, but thank you all for being on my Instagram live and tuning in. I will have other guests for you, so you won't have to sit up and listen to me just gab on as we move forward. So I would like to know, share some stories with me about what you've done so far in 2018. What were you able to let go? What did you accomplish? What sort of revelations did you have? I would love to know, because the fourth quarter is winding down. It is winding down quickly. And I promise you, it feels as though we just brought in 2018, but yet here we are facing 2019. And I'm so thankful that I still have both of my parents with me. Shout out to my mom and dad. I love you guys. Thank you for always supporting me. I have my brother. It's just the two of us, my children, and all three of my sons, who are all doing well, and just our blended family. And that is, if you are a blended family, you know how challenging that can be. And for those of you that, I don't know, how did I segue into blended families? I mean, I guess it's just in my subconscious, but blended families are challenging, and those of us that are in them, we know how challenging that can be. And I would encourage you just to stay the course. Stay the course. My ex-husband and I, we're good friends, and it's been a journey. And looking back, hindsight, wish we could have gotten to a healthy place sooner, but we're here now, and that is a wonderful thing. And same thing with, my husband was once married before, and this is both, for both of us, it's our second marriage, second and final. And, it's tough when exes are dealing with one another, and there are children involved. It can be very challenging. And if we learn to just take our ego out of it, put the ego aside, and really and truly focus on what's best for our children, all of the other things have the opportunity to fall away. And I'm not saying that it's easy, because it's not. And, sometimes we think what's best for the children is what we think is best. We as the mom, or we as the dad, believe to be best for our children. But it's really about coming together in a spirit of collaboration and co-parenting, which is so hard at times. We make it harder than it has to be. Now, for some, I will say you are in a blended family, and it's challenging for some seriously legitimate reasons. And so I'm not in any way encouraging anyone to put up with nonsense. But if there are some miscommunications and room to grow and be an adult and expand, do that. Your children are all the better for it. I promise you. I don't know how much time we have remaining, but I am so looking forward to this new season of Conversations. The name will be changed to In Conversation With. In Conversation With, and I will always be your host, Melanie Mack. And I'm looking forward to having dynamic men, dynamic women, and just the community at large coming in to talk about, again, work-related issues. And, if you're not an entrepreneur, Nope, that's not a problem. You know, if you work for someone or you're the boss, those are stories that need to be told as well. Those are equally important because everyone has a role to play. I think we can all agree on that, right? We all have roles to play. And so if you're in a job that you love, I'd love to hear from you. Inbox me, send me a message, and let me know. And perhaps we can get you scheduled and talk about the kind of work that you do and the impact that it has on your community or the impact that it has on your family. And I'd love to hear about it. You know, I am someone that firmly believes that charity first begins at home. And so, you know, as we are giving back, make sure that you are taking care of home. Make sure that home is good first, right? Make sure that your family is good, and then you have, you know, there's room to reach out and help others. But you have to make sure that your family is thriving, right? I apologize for this raspy voice tonight. It has been such an incredible day. I did not, I have to be honest, I don't have any candy for the kitties. So I will probably have to make a stop and get some candy, and hopefully it's not too late, and, you know, make sure that as kids are stopping by, they can get some treats and not tricked out of candy. Just terrible. I'm not, you know, I have to be honest. I am so glad that I am out of that phase with my children. I don't know about you guys, but so glad to be beyond that phase and that they can do, you know, they can do their own thing. But it was fun while it lasted, and that time goes by so quickly. But I can just remember, I can remember having to shop for costumes year after year. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Lord, that that's over. Thank you. Thank you for delivering me. So thank you for your time tonight. I am looking forward to more conversations with you. And I am looking forward to the incredible people that will be on the show with me. And again, if it's something that you are interested in and you want to be a part of my show, make sure that, wait, I'm getting a question here. Yes. I'm saying yes to a question. Is there a way that you can watch my show on Facebook? Yes. Go to Power of Voices. Power of Voices. Go to the Power of Voices page, and it is streaming live. You can also go to my personal page on Facebook and watch it, or you can go to Power of Voices on YouTube and watch live and see it there to check it out. And, but yes, there will be some amazing women, men, looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun this season. I'm so happy to be back. Mahisha Dillinger, I'm coming for you. You have got to be on my show. Kiko, when you're in town to receive this, to be celebrated as a Power 100 for Ebony Magazine. I'm so happy for you. Have to get you on the show while you're in LA. And I'd like to get Diane in here and some others. If you have recommendations too, because I don't know all of these incredible women and men, but if you know people that you would like to recommend to be on and in conversation with me, again, drop me a line, let me know, tell me who they are and why you think they should be on the show. I would love to have them. And, you know, students are interesting too, because many students are launching their own businesses, which is very exciting. And I'd love to hear from some young people, some of our kids that are in business for themselves and, are making money and employing people. It's funny. My eldest, he celebrated his 21st birthday, right? And in celebrating it, I asked all of his friends to share how they know him, one funny anecdotal story about him that includes them, and what they love about him. And so in doing so, my son Matthew was so funny. He shared that his older brother, he said, so this is my older brother. He said, I've known him since day one. And he said, so funny story. He said, funny story is, he said, we had a car wash when we were little. And he said, well, no, correction. He said, my brother had a car wash in the summer. And he said, in that entire summer, I made $3. And he talked about how his brother paid him $1 for each month, and that he was only getting 2 cents per car. It was so funny because my son had the entire neighborhood working, and he's still. This is the one that's graduating from college, and it looks like has an eye on law school, and I know that he will be amazing at it. But I'd love to hear from your kids if they are in business or if they have jobs that they love. I'm one that doesn't believe that college is unnecessary, or it's not necessarily a track for everyone. And actually, Kim Etheridge and I from Mixed Chicks were just having this conversation yesterday. But if there are things that, if there's a child or your student, your son, daughter, that has created something, I'd love to, please write to me and let me know. And I'd love to get them in studio and talk about their passion and what they've created and why, what led to it. And that will inspire other students and other kids to know that, you don't have to wait until you're an adult. I think this generation knows that they don't have to wait to begin building a career. It's very different. I guess I can take my glasses off now because I'm not looking at my phone. But yeah, I think they know that they don't have to wait. And to all of you listening, you do not have to wait to launch a business. If it's something that you want to do, I encourage you to get out there and do it. You just have to start. Just start. That's all you have to do. Start wherever you are with whatever you have. Get going. Decide. And when I say decide, it doesn't have to be some grand idea that you have. I will tell you that BCIF recently awarded a microloan to a company called RCO Tires. This woman, Nikki Okuk, is this woman is incredible. But I had an opportunity to talk to her. Her business is recycling tires, rubber. It's tires. And she's in Compton. She has a warehouse there. She's already already actually surpassed the $1 million mark, right? And so I talked to her and I said, why tires? What, I figured she had some big speech about why she went into recycling and, it was eco-friendly. But she said to me that she read a book by Van Jones, and he listed some very generic companies, or not generic companies, but generic businesses. And she said she picked one, and it was recycling tires, and she's over $1 million, already. And I think she's been in business, maybe a year, less than 2 years, for sure. So, and she gave an amazing TED Talk. If you'd like to learn more about her, it's Nikki Okuk, Niki, It's her first name. Okuk is Okuk. And you know what? I want to shout out the ladies from Sip and Sonder in Inglewood, the Black Coffee Experience. They have such a beautiful lounge that they have that they've created. They're here from, oh, Ashley, don't kill me, Brooklyn. Moved out here and partnered, and now they have opened this beautiful space. If you have not seen it, check it out. It's on Market Street. It's in Inglewood, and it's called Sip and Sonder. You can also follow them on Instagram. I think they're on Facebook. I'm sure they're on Twitter, YouTube. But check out their location. Ask for Ashley. You can tell her that I sent you. Only use my name if you're coming with some positive and good vibes over there. But they do. They will allow rentals of their space for private events, and they do education. There's education around coffee, which I find very interesting. And that's something that I'm kind of carving out some time for myself, because I'd like to go to one of those informational sessions to learn more about coffee. So anyway, thank you for tonight. This was, again, wonderful to be back. A little rough for me because it's my first night back after a year. And I'm sitting here talking to myself that's what it feels like. But thank you so much. Thank you to everyone listening. Thank you to my family for support. And I cannot wait to be in studio next week with my guest. I will save that. I'm not going to announce it just yet. But I look forward to being in conversation with you next week. Have a wonderful evening. Hug on the ones you love. A hug, sometimes you have to hug the ones you don't love. But give those people a hug in your life. Don't wait to tell people that you love them. Spend time with friends. Eat well. Take care of yourself. And I will see you next week. We'll talk next week. This has been Melanie Mack, Conversations. Good night. I'm done.